Hello world, Shelly here, and today I've got for you this eye look right here featuring the Bad Habit Retro Love palette, and I'm going to do it side by side, boom, with its high-end counterpart, the ABH Subculture palette. Before we get started though, I want to give a special shout out to my cousin and her friends, actually all my cousins, particularly my cousin Karli and her friend Kenna. Kenna's got a YouTube channel. I'm going to link it down below, and Karli's thinking of starting one, and I would just like all of you watching, if you support young content creators and young filmmakers, give this video a thumbs up down below. Let's show Kenna and Karli that they should totally go after their dreams. They've been making, short films and stories and movies for years now, and I think they should share them with the world. So thumbs up if you agree. Let's support young people, get their creative visions out there, get them started early. If I had started a lot of the things that I enjoy now much younger, I can't even imagine how good I'd be at them by this time. So do it, girls. I totally support you, and everyone that thumbs up this video supports you too. So go after it, do it, get it. I don't know what I'm saying now. So let's get into this eyeshadow comparison. If you missed last week, I did an unboxing and swatching of a whole bunch of palettes from the brands Bad Habit and Face Candy, which are available on the Hush app. Hush had sent me these palettes to try out, and I will link that video right here if you missed it last week. And on social media, I asked you guys to vote for which palette you would like to see a full eye look on first. And the voting was actually, there have been votes for all of the palettes, but the two that were getting the most votes were the Retro Love palette, which is the Subculture Dupe, and the Athena palette, which is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk dupe. So I've decided I'm going to at least do those two. We are going to start out with Retro Love because it is my favorite, and I'm in charge here, so we're doing this one first. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how I got this eye look. We are going to put it side by side with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. One eye will be Bad Habit, the other eye will be Subculture. I'm not going to tell you which is which until the end, and that is the plan. So if you would like to see how I got this eye look, keep on watching. All right, don't be scared. I know. Just got my foundation and my brows on. No blush, bronzer, highlight, none of that. We're going to do that later. Looking a little scary, but I was playing with my brows for like 20 minutes, and I love them. I love this. So we got to make a bomb eye look. Bomb diggity, because my foundation's not playing nice today. So we have to distract from the foundation and make a beautiful, beautiful eye look. I'm going to explain how this is going to work. I'm going to use the exact same brushes on both eyes. I will switch them with a color switch in between, so the brush itself won't have anything to do with the performance of the shadow. I'm not going to tell you which one is which. For that reason, we're going to do this as a voiceover because I know myself. I have no self-control when it comes to talking, and I will surely spoil the surprise of which side is which if you allow me to speak while I'm doing this. So I'm going to film it as a voiceover, same brushes each side. I will not tell you which eye is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture and which eye is the Bad Habit Retro Love. That will be a surprise. At the end, of course, I will tell you. And let's do this, shall we? I love this palette. Like, this color scheme is my wheelhouse. These brows, though. I have primed both lids with the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. Little lip love rehab from Urban Decay. Okay, so I have double speeded all of the eyeshadow, but none of it has been cut out, so you will see all of the blending just at double speed. We're starting out with a large tapered blending brush with the Wayne Goss 03, and going in with the transition shade here. There we got a little zoom in, get a little closer for you guys so you can see what is happening. I will not be telling you which eye is which until the very end. Next up, I'm going to take the Sigma E25 blending brush. This is my favorite precision crease brush for, you know, a blurred out color in the crease, but not quite as blurred as a transition shade. And I'm taking this with the most color out in the outer corner socket there, and then dragging whatever's left toward the inner corner of the eye. The usual windshield wiper motions. Next, I'm using the Real Techniques flat shader brush. This is a small shader, and we're getting some fallout, so I'm going to put some powder underneath my eyes that makes it so you can just sweep away all that fallout when you're done. If you do your foundation first, you might want to try this trick. And I'm just patting this out into the outer half of the lid. We will go back in and blend it after we get all the color placed where we want it. Next, I'm going to take a MAC 233 and some MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus setting spray, and I'm going to use this wet and put this across the inner third of the lid, and then when I get onto that area where the two shades blend together, you just kind of wiggle your brush back and forth right over that transition to kind of blend it seamlessly. And you may have to go back and forth between those two colors in order to get the sort of transition that you're looking for. There we go. Touch up the green just a little bit. Makeup Geek Outer V brush, and I'm just dabbing the tiniest amount of this dark shade out, placing the product, and then we're going to blend it with this Wayne Goss 19 brush. No product on this Wayne Goss brush. I just like to put the color down and then use a softer blending brush to blend it so I get the most color in the precise area that I want. This is the Wayne Goss 05 pencil brush. We're going to smoke out the lower lash line, putting down a base of color which was the same as our crease color. We're going to kind of mimic what we did on our lids on the lower lash line. So here's our crease color, then we wait. Then we go in with that darker green. And lastly, we're going to take an It Cosmetics smudger brush, smudge that all out and smoke it out with the original yellow shade that we used. I don't know who we is. I used? Deepen it up with that Wayne Goss 05. Blend everything together, connect it to the outside, and lastly take that original shimmer and do it on the inner third, and then fill in the inner corner tear duct area with an inner corner highlight of that same shade. This is a NYX Pro crease brush, and there's no product on here. I'm just using this to sort of smoke out and blend everything together along the lower lash line. Brush off that excess powder so that you get rid of all of your fallout. And lastly, I'm taking a mystery brush that I think I got on Amazon, I don't remember, and just highlighting my brow bone. Tiniest little nub left of my Urban Decay 24/7 waterline pencil, tightlining the upper lash line and the outer third of my lower lash line. Then I'm going in with a Laura Geller pencil. This is in a green shade. I could not get my close-up to focus, but that's going on the lower lash line. Curl the lashes apply the Urban Decay Double Team. This is their blue shade on the lower lashes. And then my upper lashes will be the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes Volume 2. Finishing the face, this is the Shade and Light Contour palette from Kat Von D. I wanted to go kind of bold face, nude lip, you know, give a little bit of drama, but since the eyes are the focus, keep the focus up there. I'm using the bronzer around the perimeter of my hairline and Laura Geller's Peach Delight blush. That's a Wayne Goss brush it was a holiday release. You can't get it anymore, but I love it. And my favorite highlight of the moment. Then I decided I had so much drama going on, I had to snatch the nose a tiny bit. Stila Stay All Day, and this is the finished look. All of these products will be linked below. Here it is, the finished look. One eye done with the Bad Habit Retro Love palette, the other eye done with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. Have you yet guessed which one is which? I'll tell ya. This side is Subculture, this side is Bad Habits. Quite honestly, I like the Retro Love palette better. The first thing, especially with this eye look, is that I like the red undertone of the shade Rock and Roll, it's called, in the Retro Love palette, whereas it is All Star in the Subculture palette. I think the undertone is much more complementary to the rest of the shades in the palette, and it just works better. Primarily though, what I like is that the mattes don't go on so heavy that you have to risk over applying product, but the shimmers aren't so hard that you have to dig them out of the pan to get any color to show up. The green shimmer in the Subculture palette, oop, there goes my brush, is really hard to dig out of here. Like there's barely, it's very sheer, the color on my finger there. Whereas the Retro Love palette, it's just your typical, you know, creamy shimmer. You don't have to, you don't have to press at all. Look how much more pigment came up on the Bad Habit one. So, you know, it's just, the formula for Subculture is a little bit wonky. And I got a good palette. My palette works just fine. I don't have any trouble with, you know, things kicking up in the pan. You know, here are what my pans look like after, you know, I've used it probably, you know, half a dozen times in my life at this point. And I don't have that problem with like the powder just falling out. I'm very gentle with my picking up with my brush anyway. That's just how I apply my makeup. But even for a good palette, I like the formula in the Bad Habit palette better. I think the formula is better. The arrangement of the colors, let me just show you them side by side. They took basically all of the complaints that people had about how Subculture was arranged and sort of fixed it in the Bad Habit palette. I can't get both of these on the screen at the same time. There you go. And I just prefer the color arrangement of Retro Love. The color arrangement actually inspired this look because I really stuck to the reddish and the aqua shades here, darken the outer corner with that sort of chocolatey red brown, and of course used the green on the inside, where this is a little bit more randomized and a little harder to envision what looks you might come up with out of it. The Bad Habit Retro Love palette honestly is everything I wished Subculture would have been, and at a much more reasonable price. You can get this for $12 on the Hush app, which is amazing, and I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. I am really in love with the Bad Habit palettes that I've tried so far, and this one is no exception. Also, I just want to note that these new Urban Decay Double Team, I use this on my lower lash line. I have never had a colored mascara that has quite so much impact, like Bam! It's exactly what I want if I'm going to use a colored mascara. One thing to note, don't get it on your skin. This stuff is like, it's permanent. It's like putting Sharpie on your face. It's really hard to get it off your skin if you do happen to mess up and get it on your skin. So don't do that. But I think it's freaking gorgeous, and bravo, I also bought the purple one, so can't wait to use that. There you have it, my take on an eye look using the Retro Love palette from Bad Habit, comparing it to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette just for reference. I say go get the Bad Habit palette. It is fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you to Hush for sending me this palette. I've already placed 2 additional orders for more palettes from Hush out of my own pocket because I am so impressed with the ones that I have tried. If you haven't seen my swatches of all of the affordable Bad Habit and Face Candy palettes that Hush sent me, I will link that here and down below so that you guys can take a look at all of the palettes that I am checking out. I will have one more palette coming up with a full eye look. You guys have been voting on my social media for the past week, and I'm gonna go with the Athena palette next, so keep an eye out for that. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.